As much as I hate doing this, make sure you are subscribed. Only 33% of you are. With that said, let's continue. Hello again you troglodytes. For today's atrocious video we will be looking at a French 6.7 medium tank, the AMX-M4. The AMX-M4 began its life after World War II electric boogaloo in the form of two prototypes. After the war France had no modern tanks, while yes the RL-44 was being designed but could hardly be called modern because of its fucking suspension and gearbox that were prone to failure. So the French tried making a tank that wouldn't break the fuck down every 10 minutes. So they came up with this motherfucker, which is basically a Panther but better, and French. Which apparently is a valid reason to give it a 9.2 KSL repair cost stock.
There it goes! You see, I'm weak.
And in true Gaijin fashion, only gets worse. This fucknut has the SA-45 baguette launcher of auto-loading destruction and has a 7-round magazine and one in the breech ready to bend you the fuck over like the Allied bombing raids on Germany. It also has a 6.7 second reload for all 7 shells, but when you run out of ammo in that drum it takes Pierre and his buddies in the turret 2 years to reload the drum, and while you are in this process it is recommended to run the fuck away, just like the German forces in 1945. The gun doesn't have all that much elevation or depression as it is an oscillating turret -8 degrees to +15 degrees, you can still crest some hills which is good, but it can be a little difficult on certain maps. Turret rotation is godly for 6.7, with a stock crew it's 17.9 degrees a second and with a horizontal drive mod, can go to 19 degrees a second, and that combined with a cruise snorting the finest crack, can get to a whopping 30 degrees a second. For comparison, most tanks at 6.7 have a 20 degree per second turret rotation. The shells have a 1000 meter a second muzzle velocity which is the same as the German Longdong 88mm Schnitzel launchers, and has 215mm of penetration at 10 meters on flat surfaces which isn't a lot but can still fuck people up when the shell penetrates, and with the gun is quite wobbly while moving as you lack any form of stabilizer, but when you are coming to a stop the gun is reasonably stable, allowing you to get a shot off reasonably fast while said opponent might still be aiming. For best outcome aim for ammo racks on Tigers and Panthers. Russian tanks don't matter, just shoot turret sides as you'll mostly one-shot them, but not the IS-3 or IS-4 because those two will pose a large threat, and for Brit bongs aim for the lower plate to the right facing you as they put all their ammo there for some reason. This thing has a powerful engine that guzzles red wine that cranks out 1000 horsepower. With a weight of 52 tons it has a 19.2 HP per ton ratio, and gives off a top speed of 46 km/h off-road and 51 km/h on road. The M4 lacks neutral steer which is unfortunate but can turn very quickly regardless. Its reverse gear doesn't fucking exist at -5 km/h, which is just slightly better than the Panther's. Armor also follows the Panther as it has 80mm on the UFP, the hull cheeks have 60mm and the LFP has 60mm at an extreme angle. Where the two plates meet, UFP and LFP that is, it's basically just a flat fuck off place where enemies can send shells into and fuck you up, but it is a small place to hit, and you especially don't angle this fucker. As said previously the hull cheeks are only 60mm and if you angle expect death. But regardless, at 6.7 you really won't be bouncing much at your BR and especially not at 7.7. Your side armor is piss poor at 40mm all around, roof armor is god awful at 20mm and 5mm on the radiator vents. Turret armor is sort of trolley, as you have a 40mm case and then the 80mm ball giving around 120mm of protection with the angle of the turret ball as well, so expect some decent armor here. However the cupola stands out more than some retard using a winter camo in a city map. Seriously, who does that shit? Let's go into shell types, as we have two and we'll go through this fast. First we have the Obus the Rupture APC shell with as mentioned a 1000 meter a second velocity and decent pen values, with 201mm of pen at 500 meters. Next up is the useless as fuck Obus explosive key shell, carry none of these. Take 25 of the Obus the Rupture shells, as you'll chew through ammo very fast if you're trigger happy like the Germans at D-Day. The Obus the Rupture has really good post-pen damage, as it likes to get its grubby hands on a lot of modules once entering a tank, but aiming for critical components or ammo on larger tanks is recommended. Mobility in the AMX-M4, if you haven't guessed, is fucking terrific. It has dummy thick tracks allowing it to move about flawlessly on and off-road, and as discussed previously, with a 1000 HP engine you can get up to speed pretty fast. The only major setback is that when you done fuck up you can't retreat with a reverse gear, and that you lack neutral steer. Your main playstyle is to flank the fuck out of your enemies and either come from the rear for butt sex of the best kind, or go from the sides and pump a few shells into your enemies.
But I cannot see, I'm legally blind.
But keep watch of how many shells you fling at them. Remember that your side armor is god-awful and that even AAs can go through them. Planes will make mincemeat of you top down, and as you don't have a roof machine gun, you will need to rely on the player's stupidity or whatever foliage you have surrounded yourself in to protect you. Also, as a side note, if you're caught by yourself you will probably die. Even if you have an autoloader you won't drop people like flies. Brawling in a down tier is possible, but won't always work, and brawling at 7.7 is a fucking stupid idea, and you're stupid for thinking about doing as such. Modifications should go as follows: parts, FPE, horizontal drive for maximum butt sex, then elevation mechanism, and then go for the mobility mods. Crew replenishment isn't necessarily needed as you have an autoloader, so get that whenever you feel like it. Crew skills should go for vitality, leadership, tank driving for even more butt sex, and repair to get the bakery back up and running after the SS ransacked it. With that said, remember that your armor is sturdy to resist some guns, but relying on it 100% isn't a good idea, and that your great speed, maneuverability, and your reasonably quick reload are your main strengths. If you are caught in the open, you either did something wrong or have been caught by some horny revenge killer with a warrant for your head. Now get out there, harness your inner baguette and slaughter the masses with your auto-loading fever. Good luck, you dumbass. That's all I could think of for this video. Maybe I missed a few things, who the fuck knows.